Hi and welcome back to a new video. You have probably seen headlines like these recently, and like many others, find yourself wondering what this means, why people are adamant that personal computing will vanish in the upcoming decades. In this video, I want to go over the state of right now, the projections, and why I personally think PCs won't vanish, but they might change in accessibility, as well as what we can expect in the future. Whether you've been wanting to upgrade your PC or just looked around the tech space, you have noticed the insane price hikes. RAM. A weird trend where innovation is nearly only software-sided, and of course everyone's favorite buzzword AI taking over. Let's get into how we got here. Generally speaking, tech usually follows a simple, unspoken rule. If you wait a little longer, it'll get cheaper. Historically, that was true. Between 1998 and the early 2010s, PC prices dropped by almost 94%. Back then, anyone could afford a solid upgrade every couple of years. That stability, though, hit a nosedive when the pandemic hit. COVID-19 messed up global supply chains, specifically hitting the semiconductor chip sector, and since those chips are in, literally everything, it exposed the cracks in the market and sent costs through the roof. It all became a perfect storm of high demand and blocked supply, as semiconductors weren't shipped out to the rest of the world. Just when things started to settle once nations reopened, we hit another wall, the crypto mining bubble. Remember when people were selling decade-old GPUs for more than their original launch price? It was wild. People were paying $300 to $400 over MSRP just to mine Bitcoin. Eventually, production caught up, but we didn't even get a second to breathe before the next big disruption, the rise of AI. RAM, SSDs, and GPUs are at the literal core of modern computing. Every phone, tablet, and server on Earth needs them. Even after the crypto craze, RAM was actually still pretty affordable. But then, in mid-2024, Chat-GPT 4.0 launched and the AI arms race began. Now we have dozens of massive AI platforms being built globally, backed by billions from tech giants and government. This isn't just a Silicon Valley thing either. The US and China are treating AI like a strategic resource on the same level as oil or electricity. Whoever leads in AI gets the economic leverage. In 2024 alone, US companies spent over $100 billion on AI infrastructure. China is doing the same through state-backed funds to build out their own massive computing power. The bottom line, AI is here, and the biggest players in the world are betting everything that it's staying. Nvidia is selling you fake frames, fake VRAM, and fake pixels. Amazon is using it to automate everything, including your living room. And Microsoft is trying to put Copilot into every single corner of Windows, even Notepad. They're not even shying away from begging us to use it. Hey, Makes. Why are you talking about AI right now? I thought we wanted to talk about my computer. Well, there's a massive logistical side to AI that most people don't see. Every time you type a prompt into a generative AI, you're creating what's called a token. The system reads your token, processes it, and spits out an answer based on pattern recognition. One token doesn't take much power, but when the world is generating 1.3 quadrillion tokens a month, a lot of performance is needed to get that done. This is the root of the problem. Because companies are banking so hard on Gen AI, there is a gigantic demand for data centers to handle all that processing. The logic for these companies is more data centers equals better AI equals more users equals more money. These data centers require insane amount of state-of-the-art RAM and SSDs. The exact same parts we need for our PCs at home. You see why that's not working out? The demand is so high that some manufacturers are flat out leaving the consumer market because they can make so much more money selling to data centers instead of us. Looking at you, Micron. This is why prices are insane right now. For example, the Patriot Viper 16GB DDR5 6K RAM went from $49 to $110 in just 3 months. As I'm recording this, it's actually well over 200% in price increase. If you wanted to upgrade your PC, the best time was basically last year. And it's not just RAM. SSDs are currently costing at least 16 times more than what they did 2 years ago because data centers are basically inhaling them. Standard hard drives are even on back order for the next 2 years. To put it in perspective, a high-end 8TB M.2 SSD is currently worth roughly the same price per gram as gold. That is absolutely bonkers. There's a small caveat of hope, which is how I'm going to phrase this. China has been pumping money into becoming independent under the umbrella of their Made in 2025 plan. This means their RAM manufacturer CXMT and their SSD manufacturer YMTC are able to sell hardware under the market price as they don't need to be profitable. This could be what's needed to drag the rest of the world back into normality. That, however, hinges on how much they can produce, how accessible their chips are, and how many of them we can get. So take that with a grain of salt. If there was one thing people had hoped had recovered after crypto and the pandemic, it was GPUs. Newsflash, they were just catching their breath. While your home PC uses the CPU as brain, an AI data center, the GPU takes on that part. More specifically, the VRAM in the card handles all of the calculations needed to do the math to generate anything from text to video to code. NVIDIA is already reportedly cutting back on their 16 GB VRAM models for consumer cards, and there are even rumors they'll restart production on the older 3060 cards, just to have something for the consumer market while they focus on high-end chips for AI data centers. There's no sign of AI slowing down. We're in a spot where either the bubble bursts because it's too expensive to keep subsidizing, or it succeeds and we just have to eat the costs. Looking at the industry, everyone is betting on it sticking. With the US building 3,000 new data centers, every single one of those servers is going to need the hardware we just talked about. If supply can't meet the demand, you get the idea. We might hit a price peak by the end of summer, but honestly, we probably might not see normal prices again until 2028. We simply don't have enough fabs yet. Companies like Micron are building new ones, but they won't be ready until the end of 2027. And like we said earlier, they're not even focusing on the consumer market. A regular RAM fab takes about 3 years to build, so even if companies are getting into the market now, there's going to be a pain period for the next 3 years. I totally get why people feel like they're being bullied out of personal computing. Companies are chasing AI dollars and hyping up the cloud as the future. The threat isn't that PCs will vanish overnight, as some people are phrasing it, but that they might change into simple terminals for cloud services. Moving everything to the cloud means trusting a third party with your data, privacy, and independence. I personally don't want that, and I think many of you guys don't either. What's next? People will just have to be comfortable with the idea of not owning their own data? Based on the feedback and reception of society to AI, cloud service, data security, and also environmental aspects, I don't think we will see a move fully into cloud for all your gaming and tech needs. But I do think we can expect systems like that to appear more seriously and often on the market. Specifically, as everything becomes more expensive, I wouldn't be surprised if monetary issues push people into budget machines that rely on cloud gaming and similar. I'm pretty confident in consumer hardware also still being a thing though. For now, we just have to expect higher prices, but that doesn't mean it's forever. Where there's tension and money to be made, more companies invest to get a slice of that cake. And of course, the AI bubble could always still burst. Historically, the market always corrects itself eventually, and just like RAM and GPU stabilized after previous spikes, these prices should too. New factories are coming online and manufacturers will eventually find a balance. The takeaway is simple: be patient, stay informed, and please don't panic buy. Let me know down in the comments if you think PCs are here to stay, or are we all moving into the cloud? Is the bubble going to burst? I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.